The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Welcome, folks. Tom O'Brien filling in for Steve. Steve will be back with you. He is just a little under the weather right now. Market-wise, what we have out here, you get the S&P's up 3.5. We get NASDAQ up 8. You get the FTSE up 3. The DAX is up 18. We have gold contract down $2.60 at $1,216. Silver is at $17.61. Platinum is at $1,325. Light sweet crude $91.39. That baby's on its way to $85, which is going to be a total mind blower. You get the 10-year and the 30-year bonds flat. King dollar up 197 ticks at 84.97. You got the euro down 31 at 128, and the yen is trading out at 108.72. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. Now, in the world of the S&Ps, folks, let's check it out, because, you know, what we've had out here on a continual basis is that the bulls, the bears, fighting like crazy each and every time we get any type of pullback at all. The bulls have won each and every one of these, raised it right back up, and this line is going to be out here this morning. And the line's pretty cool, too, folks, because you have September 15th. What had happened on the 15th is that we came down on the S&P. We got down to 1978, rejected lower price, had lighter volume. That area there was going into the highs that had been hanging out here since July 3rd. So the reality here is this, is that from July 3rd, we're at the same place, okay? So you go higher, you have lighter volume, then what do? You pull back starting on the 25th of July, you pull back with volume. Comes all the way back up, we get down to the S&P, down to this 1904, comes up to the S&P, takes it out, has lighter volume, pulls back with lighter volume. So here's the line. The line is right where we're at out here today. So it's going to be cool watching this whole baby shake out. If we go to the SPY, and the correlation with your benchmark is in the SPY is this. SPY yesterday, come back inside this 199.06. The 199.06 is your benchmark in your SPY. You stay underneath that baby. Bottom line is that you're going to make a charge down to this 190.80 area. Now, the NDX 100. This is something that you got to keep an eye on. This is why. We didn't get an expansion of volume yesterday on the NDX 100. If we look at the three Qs. The three Qs are going into a low with 31 million, and yesterday we basically did 30 million. Now, that in itself is nice, okay, but the correlation, when you're benchmarking volume, what you're looking at is this. To stay the most conservative, the prior day, Monday, we came down with 48 million. Yesterday, you only did 33. The swing point only does have 38, so you can say, okay, you did a slight expansion, but it's not, you have to take the biggest volume and say, okay, meaning the prior day or the swing point, and NDX 100 needs more volume as we get into that price. Now, what we're going to have out here this morning, and this would help, well, I said the bullish and the bearish one. The bullish scenario would be you're going to be up 10 cents on the open. If they can get volume going heavier than 48 million top side, well, guess what? That wants to go to a high. I don't expect we're going to get that. What I do expect is that off the get-go, you're going to get a little bounce, and we'll do this intraday since the market's going to be opened. We'll have it with lighter volume, and then what's going to happen is it's going to let go to the downside once again. We go take a look at the gold contract out here. Gold's going to be intriguing. Why? Because what gold has done is that it had rejected lower price, did it with lighter volume, and now what we have happening is coming back to test the area from yesterday as to, okay, is it going to be able to hold the first expansion that it had coming up on the 22nd as well as yesterday? And that expansion, by the way, is at 12.1990. And right now we're 12.1830. The first, let's see, so the first sell on this, let me put this on 2 days so I can get a little more clarity on here. Okay, so if we, stay right there. We put this on 2 days. Yeah, see, it's lighter volume. Okay, so check this out. So our benchmark there is 4,600 contracts. The first sell on the open out here today was, right before the open, was 3,300. And then we did, this is on a 10-minute bar, then we did 2,800. So thus far, it hasn't been able to knock it down, but now you got to get over. So it's 2,800 versus 4,600. So thus far, it hasn't been able to get the volume going, but what you do need is that you got to stay above. Now you need a rejection of the 12.19 area. Right now we're at 12.1880. And of course, at TFNN, folks, we get our man, Mr. John Logan. He kicks us off every trading day, 8 a.m. And you can get all the programming at TFNN right on your cell phone. TFNN.mobi. That gets you the audio. You want to get the video plus the audio, go to TFNN.com. Hit the TV on the top right-hand side. You get the audio, the video. And as you're over at TFNN.com, folks, we're giving away $10,000. We're having a virtual trading contest. You only have until tomorrow at noontime to sign up. It's free. It's on the Nadex platform. It's a dynamic platform. If you've been out trading at that Nadex platform the last couple of days, folks, bottom line is that not only dynamic, but these price moves are extraordinary. And there's a lot of bread to be made there. John Logan, what's going on?
Hey, man, good to be back with you.
Yeah, you too, man. I like it. I feel like, you know what's amazing, folks? So check this out. John's sitting in the Philippines. I'm sitting in Florida. You're sitting in whatever state or country you're in. And communications is that quick. Isn't it a mind blower, John? Think about how does this work? How can your voice travel? There's probably like 5,000 miles, right? Probably, yeah.
Oh my God! It's like 12,000 miles.
12.
I think.
Okay, so 12,000 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, right? It's really, it's phenomenal.
It's amazing, and that kind of it's a microcosm of how things happen so quickly these days. It's like we get to do this cool thing.
Yeah.
I'm over here, you're over there, and anytime somebody farts loud in the financial business, it goes out like a wildfire all across the world real quick, and the trading ensues so quickly right after that. I mean,
yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, this guy, this ECB, one of the heads over there is saying they're gonna use unconventional tools if they have to now to deal with the I mean,
they're going to have to use unconventional tools because Europe is dead,
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, but that just somebody saying that and how quickly that affects the marketplace when that kind of news gets out, it's amazing, and just like you're talking about with me over here in the Philippines. And I talked about Europe this morning. I mean, my goodness, it's you're over here. Like I get the feeling like I'm back in the 50s. Like I imagine what the 50s were like in the U.S. I mean,
right.
I wasn't around then, but you have that kind of feeling like let's get it done, let's get to work, let's go to the next level, let's be in that middle class.
Right.
And over in Europe, I mean, it's just a whole different ball game right now, and they're going to have to, just like we're having to digest that too. I mean, they're really, that's been a super changing of the guard for those folks, and they're going to have to, so. Yeah.
No, I listen, man. I think it's a huge problem. Folks, if you've been to Europe, I had offices over in Europe, in London, in 1984 to almost 1990. And what I found so intriguing over there is that, well, not intriguing, it was very hard to do business at the beginning, okay? Just to get a phone line, in the 80s, folks, okay, to get a phone line in London would take you a month, okay? That's how sick it was. Seriously. But what I really realized there, right, in Europe was that this was just like the kings and queens, that everyone that had the money, right, had the money and didn't want anyone else to have the money at all, okay? In a huge way, too, not in a small way, folks. But what Europe always had going for them was this, is that they had a quality of life, but the reason, not everyone did, but a lot of people did, but the reason they did is that whether it's their parents or grandparents had bought these, like summer places and all this, so people wouldn't have a lot of money, but they always had like 2 or 3 real estate places. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yes.
I was watching this. I'm saying to myself, this is interesting. How do they get this? So as the years are going by, I'm realizing that, well, this is not going to last forever, because no one's working. To get someone to work, well, let's put it this way. I never hired someone that was from the UK when I had the offices in Europe. It was always immigrants coming in. That was it, okay? And then I start realizing that, oh, man, hold it. This is like an elite type of society that only, it was a controlled type of society. That in itself, folks, destroyed Europe. That's my take on it. It's a personal take on it. But that's, and I'm not saying all of Europe. I'm saying the UK more than anything, because I really understood that. And it's a mind blower. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, and now my take is they're going to get overrun. Now they're done. Because what has happened is that it's got so far out of whack that the difference in if we swap to the Asia, the difference is that Asia is just like the United States. I remember the first time that I was in, hey, you stay right there. John Logan, Tom O'Brien, we want to hear from you folks. 877-927-6648. You get the E-minis up 3, NASDAQ up 7, Russell's up 3. All you bulls and bears, we're going to have this fight, baby. We're going to have this fight. We're going to be right back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
with the launch of TigerTV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With TigerTV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on TigerTV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out TigerTV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing. Steve takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. John Logan, Tom O'Brien. Appreciate you growling and prowling with us out here. Right now, pre-market, we got the minis up 3.5, Nasdaq's up 8. So these bulls and bears, we're going to be fighting like crazy out here, folks. I figure the first couple hours, and we'll see where this shakes out. We're basically talking about Europe, Asia, the United States, and there's no doubt, John, a dramatic difference. I remember the first time I was in Asia. I love, if you go, whatever countries you go to, folks, okay, what is really cool to do is get up at like 3:30 in the morning and watch how the country starts, okay? And, you know, it's so cool watching the economy. And just as you said, Asia is like the 50s. And I mean, you know, and I was around in the 50s, so I remember them. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, you're so right to say what you're saying, too.
Well, you know, it's wild. You know, I spent a lot of time in Thailand. I spent a lot of time in Korea. And what happens, folks, Korea is much smaller and is more city-like, but Thailand, you can really get out to the sticks. And I was out places that they never even seen Americans, okay, you know, ever, okay? And it was so cool because what happens is that society there, the guys were doing the work, the wives were making all the barter deals and the money, though, right? And so you watch them in the fields and you watch them get there, put everything on the boats, then you watch them go through the rice paddies to go to where their retail store would be. And their retail stores, by the way, are in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the water. And everyone comes there, and that's when you do all the bartering. And you really get to understand how economies work, number one, because you actually see it, and how they can progress and how they can progress very quickly, you know. And it's about everyone being able to progress. And that's what we have happening, and that's why Europe, I think, is down the tubes, and I don't know what they're going to do, because the reality, to me, the reality is that they're still, you know, they're still the elites, and do you know what I mean? And people say that in the United States, but that's not the case. There's plenty of people that make a lot more money, but in the United States, you still have a shot every single day. Because in the powers, they can't stand it because everything moves so fast. So the faster everything moves, the better off it is. You want to understand that, folks, if you're working your way up the ladder. You want fast, furious action, because powers can't stand it, because it's like, oh, hold it, we gotta stop this. Well, they can't stop anything around here, so.
Yeah, you know, like what you're saying about Asia and experiencing things and kind of getting your finger on the pulse by kind of waking up real early and seeing how things unfold for
right.
You know, and what the attitude is. You know what it boils down to is I think a lot of people in the U.S. I mean, from a trading standpoint, it's great to get that perspective that you're talking about, just to kind of get out there, get away from the madness or whatever you think the madness is in the States, and really see how, you know, other communities and cultures live. And you know, it's something that, you know, you really, like, you hear these things going on in China. You know, so many of my friends think, you know, everybody sits around like there's 10 people eating out of one rice bowl or something. It's like, it's just far from it, you know. I mean, like, you go to Shanghai, Beijing, and you know, most of this, a mid-tier city to them has like 20 million people in it, you know. I mean, like, these are huge situations where the middle class is you know, kind of getting, you know, populated. And but you're right. You're making me laugh while you're talking about Thailand. I mean, when I first got here, I used to get, I mean, the best way I've found to really explore those types of places is just to get on a motorcycle and go.
Yes.
You know,
right.
and kind of explore and stop at the little stores left and right.
Right.
you're talking about never seen people from other countries or whatever. It literally made me feel like maybe this is how Mick Jagger felt when he landed in the U.S., because I'd ride around and it was a trip. People would come out to the street and touch me. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
That is funny, man. And where we're going with this, folks, this is what's cool, is understanding how the economies work and what's going to make a country or a company better, okay? And what I've got out of it more than anything is that how quick a society can bring themselves up. So many times you hear that, people in China, were only making like $5,000 or $10,000. Let me tell you something, folks. If you made $10,000 in the 50s or even at the beginning of the 60s in the United States, that was awesome. I remember the first time my father ever made $10,000, and that was working 2 jobs. That was like a huge deal in our family, okay? So the reality is that that's real, okay? And you can expand off that on a very dramatic basis. And that's what that's what we have for sure. John Logan, Tom O'Brien, you stay right there, folks. We're coming back. Those Bulls and Bears are going to be fighting any second, man. This is going to be a beautiful thing. I like it.
Let's talk markets.
Let's talk markets, baby. We're going to be right back.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or TigerTV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. John Logan, Tom O'Brien. We appreciate you growling and prowling with us out here. We have the Dow right now up 19, NASDAQ up 12. You get the S&Ps up 4.5. Gold's down 320 at 12.18. You get silver off 20 at 17.57. Silver's having a hard time out here. Bonds, the 10 and 30-year down 2 ticks and 3 ticks, and King Dollar is up 346 ticks. And let's go over to King Dollar first, John, because King Dollar just won't back off this high here, and what's going to be a total mind blower. If King Dollar decides to run to 89 right now, let me tell you something, folks. You better have your helmet on.
Well, yeah, are you watching it right now?
I am watching it right now.
Oh my God! Yeah.
What's happened, folks, is that it just blasted over these highs, and with some juice behind that move, by the way. So this is serious business, because fast currency moves in the market, period, will basically throw chaos just about everywhere. And, you know, when you're talking chaos for these large multinational companies that have a hard time hedging themselves for billions of dollars. And the euro is falling apart. And, you know, as we were just saying, Europe is toast, folks. You know, you better get to... I guess we're going to be able to go to the Amalfi Coast and have a good time, but, man, they're going to have to figure something out really quick, man, you know.
That has been the most painless trade from 135.52 down here. And, you know, usually it's like you're terrified when things are in the hole and
yep.
You're like, I'm gonna get my face ripped off shorting this thing again. But this one really has probably been the most relaxed, calm feeling that I've had in a long time.
No,
just continuing to trickle down, you know.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And you know, on a longer-term basis, what you have, and see, this is one of these deals that fundamentally and technically it's set up. You know, we've talked about it fundamentally the last 20, 30 minutes. Technically, you know, you break this. Let's see, we're at one. Well, see, we're right here. So check this out, folks. We're at 127.87 right now. It's 127.46. You break that baby, guess what? You're going to be at 120 in a heartbeat. that's
yeah, I mean, this is going to have one of those like throw up moves to even start thinking about nibbling, and that hasn't happened. It's been an orderly exit kind of almost so far, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
And when we could maybe get one of those like throw up moves and then maybe be able to catch kind of the key reversal thing. I'm not thinking long-term bounce here, by the way, but there's no long opportunities. I don't feel comfortable with it at all at this stage.
No doubt. Hey, let me ask you, yesterday we were talking about the signal box, and we were talking about the breadth of the market on the daily and the weekly.
Let me show you something cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me show it to you.
That's a beautiful thing.
I kind of gave a little bit more dissertation on this this morning. And, really, I also, I know you're a fan of relative strength trading just like I am. I mean, that's like probably how we cut our teeth trading listed stocks and things like that a long time ago. But the scanner really picks out those opportunities for you if you want to drill down into this. I'm showing it right now. I was thinking, okay, well, we've pulled back 45 S&P points in 3 days, right?
Right.
Okay. We're at an inflection point. We picked some targets, 70, 72, overshot it by a little bit, 68. No big deal. But we've kind of gotten back above there. And I personally don't think the market's going to bounce here. All right. But if you think the market will bounce, you want to try to buy strong stocks in a weak kind of pullback situation like that, and what you kind of look around and
Sure.
keep your radar up and see what kind of held up. Well, this scanner, obviously picks them out for you relative to our profiles. And, if I go back to market breadth, I can actually see the stats on that. This is the S&P 500 things trading above. So we got 41 stocks that are on this board only, and 55%, 56% rounded off of the S&P 500 stocks are still sitting below their daily profiles. Now,
That's a lot.
If we were, hey, you remember that Wednesday before we cracked for 100 points on the downside?
Yes.
These things started showing a crossover weakness. When I say crossover weakness, I'm showing something else here. I'm just going to pick out. This is our daily situation. That was the July 28th, and we cracked about the 30th, if you remember.
Right.
On that crossover right there. So these breadth statistics, we're going to be given through TFNN some educational shows on, I can talk about all the numbers in the world, but, where's the edge? That's what, as traders we want to know. So we're going to be able to hopefully talk about where's the edge in these numbers. And right now, pre-market on the smaller term time frames and the longer term time frames, now that we're open.
Yes.
The S&Ps have – crap, I've got your dollar up here. Hold on. Let me pull up the S&Ps. The S&Ps are trading 1978 right now. 1977 is a big number. Now, yesterday, we've rallied this morning, what is this, 10 S&P points, but the breadth hasn't really changed that much. Right. And the breadth is still relatively negative on these shorter-term time frames, and the market's open, and I know these time frames are valid, and I'm looking at my clock up here, and I'm seeing 9:38 and 39 seconds. I know we're getting ready to get a refresh here, but I know that yesterday and historically when these numbers don't change that much and they stayed down as they did yesterday, we rallied like 10 or 12 S&P points. You talked about 86 yesterday, and I think we had like 88, but you got to give yourself a little bit of noise factor there. Breadth didn't change, and what happened? We sold off down. We sold off literally 20 S&P points from where you were talking about that general neighborhood. And I was talking about 85 or something, so we were kind of right there. But the reason that it was not like, hey, let's buy above that 85, 86 area, because the breadth was showing that nothing wants to cooperate. There's nothing here that's really, and S&Ps, futures, you got to arbitrage them from an institutional level. You arbitrage them versus baskets of stocks. Sure. And if those guys are if it's a technical little smidget bounce like what, and they're not buying stocks at the same time, which this thing's telling you. I mean, when I say buying stocks, I'm kind of strictly obviously talking about profiles here.
Well, this is perfect. No, because there's clarity. What's so neat about this system, John, is clarity. I remember the first time I met you. That's what a trader needs. That's the bottom line. It's not we're going to be right all the time. We're not saying, but the clarity is there, man, big time.
I was telling Eddie this morning, and I'm obviously partial towards this stuff, but I was telling him, I was like, you know what, since we have done some research on that market breadth, and since it's actually becoming a part of my life now, I cannot, I'm terrified to trade without it.
I like it.
But obviously there's some noise, and you kind of, there's grinding up areas, but if you just wait patiently and wait for some things to turn in general, and also look at, and I'm showing the S&P chart here, also look at, are we crossing the border here at 1995? That was a big number, 1994.50, excuse me. Now, we talked yesterday, were we supposed to buy that little bounce on that inflection point and wait for it to cave in and try to leverage and use stops above? That market breadth told me you better not be buying that thing. Right. Now, as we get down here, those targets that we have, we're still looking strictly at the technicals on the S&P 500 futures, but we're using the market breadth to say, you know what? Yesterday we talked about, just like we talked about a couple minutes ago, but we still have to pay attention to these future S&P 500 future levels. You cannot ignore these. You can't just say, oh, we're going to go through here and we're going to cave in and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
We didn't really get a close here. Where's our close yesterday? 72. Okay, so this inflection point is actually 72, and then we have the weekly, which we talked about, that DMZ, which you like. Is the DMZ was 70 to 72, so we never got below there. We never closed below there, and that DMZ was predicated on previous unfair highs for a weekly. I've said a lot here.
That's cool.
But it's right now. I'm not seeing the breadth change. I'm seeing it stay statically negative, and that 77 area was a big thing combined with our 240.76. So we've hit that. We're kind of sitting there, and in my opinion, I mean, you know, we may be wrong in saying this or whatever, but stops can be oriented right above that area, and that breadth may predicate this to kind of trail down again, because the stock market in general, as far as profiles go, aren't really. I mean, Jesus. I mean, look at this. We got 5% of the S&P. We got 25 stocks out of the S&P trading above the 240 profiles. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, that is not cooperation.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And you know, we go back to the S&Ps just for a second and stay with them, folks. What you're going to see is this on a 10-minute basis. Okay, so we bring this back, and what you're going to see is that you're going to see the aspect that, you know, at 1540 yesterday, you know, that's when, you know, some monster threw some big numbers at the S&P, 103,000 contracts, okay? Well, your first pop-up today, okay, guess what? There's not enough force in it. It was 53,000 contracts. Big deal. 53 against 103. It doesn't fly, folks. And then what you also have, we get a high volume low that's sitting out there at that 1968. So bottom line is that you're at 1975, 1968 is going to get tested. You take that together with the profiles, you take a look at them, and guess what? You have a management set up for a trade, and yet the reward versus the risk is pretty dramatic, you know, which is so cool. So it's going to be wild watching this shake out, because you can see that what you have here also, folks, is within 15 minutes, okay, the market can't even hold. This is the classic that, you know, yes, the bulls have been right over and over and over again, but guess what? Alibaba hit the high out here, man. It's going to be a trip watching this shake out. It is. That
blew my mind when you said that. I did not realize that was a statistic like that.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
That is like, how does that work?
And all of a sudden, you know, the Australian dollar is getting crushed. China, you know, because of perceived Chinese slowdown, and you know, is that gonna, you know, there's a lot of little things going on to maybe be coincidental with what the Alibaba concept you're talking about is doing.
Let's go to Victor in Paramus, New Jersey. Hey, Victor, what's going on?
Not much. I need JetBlue on that machine you got there, and I need NUGT. That's the triple inverse of gold. And you think it's a perfect storm for a crash? You got the Jewish holidays, and they always buy it up when they come back in 10 days from now.
Is it Yom Kippur today?
2 years ago. They did it in 2010. They did the exact same thing. But check JetBlue and NUGT.
Well, with JetBlue, don't touch JetBlue. I mean,
no.
You know, well, you can touch it, you know, but I'd let the baby come down to, right now you're at 1068. Let it get down to 882 and test that area.
Okay.
You know,
I just sold it at 1060 a few weeks ago.
Good for you, man. Yeah. That was
882. You think it's going to go back down to?
Yeah. You see that high volume, you know, bar there? And see, JetBlue did exactly what it should. That was an A to B equals C to D, and it did it, and it wasn't bad, man. You know, so as it pulls back there, you know, see if you get any juice. And I suspect what you're going to see there with the airlines have figured out a million different ways to make money. This time, what you're going to have is that because oil's going and getting smoked, that's where, you know, that basically is going to come in. You know, right now you have diesel down 0.5%. Diesel's running out at 266, and she's breaking lows too, man. So diesel's going lower, and of course, I suspect fuel's one of the airline's biggest, you know, expenses, you know, so. And
check that NUGT, because the point and figure chart says $16, so that means gold's going way lower, if that point and figure chart means anything.
Okay, so let's say you get Nugget NUGT, that's the gold minus 3 times bull ETF.
I want to buy that.
And this little baby here, I mean, if you're going to trade this thing out, this buy is right in here, you know, and the stop is, well, what you have is that the lows are 25.22. You know, you're down 62 cents right now. If we take a look at this on the daily, what we've just done is this. You had a gap from yesterday of $29.94. We just hit 25.82, so it just finished the gap. We just did the first bar. We had 10 minutes. Yeah, we're good. The first bar had 270,000 into 560. So a day trade, you could buy this baby right now. And you got to be careful with these things overnight. But the bottom line is that a day trade would be right here, right now, man.
Okay.
Okay, man. Have a great one. Have a safe one.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
You know, it's going to be interesting watching this whole market shake out right now. If we go to the Dow, and you know what's wild too, John, is that we're at such large numbers, folks, okay, that the market itself has not been down a lot. But because of these 17,000 in the Dow, you know, you can be off 0.5% and you're down 116 bucks. You know what I mean? So that correlation is going to throw some people, you know. So inside the Dow today, the weakness, you got Chevron down $1.70. You got ExxonMobil off 88. These are getting smoked. Oh, yeah, look, we're breaking lows. And if you want to see how you'd love to test high-volume lows, what you had, Exxon has just come from $104. It's 95. And what's screaming out here is 94. That's on a short-term basis. On a longer-term basis, what you're going to see is that 85 is screaming. Pretty wild. You stay right there, folks. John Logan, Tom O'Brien. We're going to be coming right back. Don't forget, we're giving away $10,000 virtual trading contest. You only have till tomorrow at noontime to sign up. It's absolutely free. Check it out on the front page of TFNN. We'll be right back.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. John Logan, Tom O'Brien. Appreciate you growling and prowling with us out here. Right now, we got the Dow up 15, NASDAQ up 7, S&Ps are up 3.5. And if we go take a look at some of the higher volume stocks, and certainly they're not higher volume right now, but we got GoPro is up $3.20. We're going to pull that up. Bed Bath & Beyond is up $3.88. You got, let's see, KB Homes is down $1.70. Inside some of the Dow stocks, what we have, Oxy's up 34, ExxonMobil's down 86. You got IBM off $1. American Express is off 29. You got 3M down 14, and GPRO. This looks like it's going to be a nice short squeeze happening. It's a 30% short position already, and it doesn't take much when you get 1 out of 3 shares that are short, and what the deal is out here with GoPro. You have 2 different things with GoPro, folks. You have something that, you know, is a headline that people like. I mean, I'm going to buy a bunch of them for Christmas. I am. But what you have is that there's only 20 million shares outstanding, and with 21 million shares outstanding, and this likes to trade like 7 or 8 million a day, you can imagine, you know, on a short squeeze, you can get this thing going in a huge way. So it's going to be, so stay away from it. That's my point, folks. Okay. Yeah. So we got the Bulls and the Bears. They're going to be fighting like crazy. It looks to me, John, we're at, let's see, what do we got? We're at 9:56, and the Bulls got to show something real quick, folks, because, you know, you give it another half hour, an hour, after the way that we've traded the last few days, they're going to keep attacking that lower profile. And as John said, we haven't broke that profile. You know, so the bottom line is that, you know, you could sit there and do nothing until you go either way. You don't have to be sitting here trading. You know what I mean?
And that's one of the hardest things in the world to do is just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and you know, again, you know, where's the edge? You know, like
right.
The edge sometimes is to sit there and do nothing. So, you know, I'm not seeing a lot of change in guard here on the profile breadth as we're looking at it.
Yes.
In fact, I'm looking at the dailies getting a little worse, actually.
Nice.
So we did have a crossover on the weeklies. That's kind of like just meandering around right now. But, you know, it's like you said before. I mean, when you come off 45 points or even more, actually,
sure.
in 3 days, you want to see a little bit more buying, I guess, than what we're seeing right now. And, you know, this thing may rally in the afternoon. Who knows? But, you know, we've seen this so many times happen like that. But the cool thing is, you know, stops can be put in and,
yep.
You know, trying to leverage everything with the edge right now is not a bad thing on the short side, in my opinion. So I'm going to stick with it, even though that's actually not worked out well sometimes in the past. But, you know, you know, there's, hey, we're playing the odds. That's all we're doing.
Hey, there's no doubt, man. You know, yeah, I know, man. I'm telling you, it's really crazy. But what happens, folks, is that depending on how long you've been in this business, profile trades, meaning to me, we're talking profiles. You can talk swing points. That's where your best risk versus the reward sets up. You know, and so yeah, you can, you better be able to take a bunch of jabs on a continual basis because that's what you're going to get. But the reality is that that's where the aspect of how much you can lose versus how much you can gain is pretty dramatic, so.
Yeah, and we haven't actually put any pain pressure on these guys in a long time, these longs. And, this profile, we're sitting right there, we're kind of hovering around.
It's amazing. No, I agree, but you know what? They haven't put any pressure on us either. We're the same place we were on July 4th, and that's the amazing thing. That's the reality.
Hey, you're right.
You stay right there, folks. Dave White's coming up next with you. Basil Chapman. Dave White will be back. Hey, John, thanks so much, man.
Hey, good to talk to you always.
You too, man. What a pleasure. Stay right there, folks. Dave's coming right up.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
You're watching Tiger TV.